Welcome back to Anglesey for round 3 of the Disklok Civic Cup. In race 1, Michael Winkworth didn't get much of a start in the 211 car, the Fusion Graphics machine. Let's hope he has a better start this time. Got to do it from P18 though. The top 10 on the grid from race 1 are reversed for race 2, which means the championship leader, Lee Deegan, got to start P10, Jake.
So the target's got to be top 5 to consolidate consistency for the championship for Lee Deegan, but in front of Dan Reason at all is a bonus with him being second in the championship. But it's me old mucker, Alistair Camp, on pole position as we get underway. Is Morgan Bailey going to out-track him, or Jason Ballantyne might split them both? He certainly gets up the inside of Morgan Bailey through target. We're on board with Lee Deegan. Oh, and he's had a little bit of a nudge from behind by the look of it. Out in front, just up the road, that is the M-Tech Brakes My Rider number 51 of David Buki. They charge through the hairpin. Getting back on the power. Great moves already from Lee Deegan, trying to charge his way through. Made up a couple of places already. Dan Reason, well, Deegan's already got by and has already started to pick off a couple of cars to put some distance between himself and his main rival for the championship. And here he goes again. Buki's to our left, keeping our foot in. A wheel on the grass. Very nearly nudging mirrors as we get down to the braking zone for Rocket In. And Hobson going side by side with Bailey. Oh, this is going to be tight, but Hobson holds it round the outside. Now cuts back across and onto the inside of Bailey comes Lee Deegan. Oh, they did nudge that time. Back on the power. Thanks, mate. That was enough momentum to get me through. So now he's not going to have any near side rear view for the rest of this race because he's given him a nudge to the mirror and it's folded in on itself. So out in front, it's Alistair Camp, then Jason Ballantyne. Hobson and Lee Deegan has come up to 4th place. Whoop, that's a nice move from Buki. He gets through on the inside of Morgan Bailey. We ride on board with Bailey temporarily down the Tom Price straight. And now we get into the hairpin once again. Bailey now trying to come right round the outside of Buki, who holds back to the inside line, but he's got to be careful because that is the 75 of Dave Vincent trying to come through as well. They get back on the acceleration. Jason Ballantyne running in 2nd place in behind Alistair Camp. A very good run on the first lap from Lee Deegan though, starting 10th, and he's now in P4. Well, I did say anything top 5 would be sensational, and it always is in reverse grids, but he's picked off 6 cars in 1 lap. Meanwhile, how has Reason got on? Well, he's remained in 9th position, not the greatest of starts for Dan Reason. Unfortunately, he's now got to do a lot more hard work. So Buki in 5th, Bailey in 6th place. Vincent is there in 7th position because they've all managed to get their way past Winfield on that first lap. Deegan up to 4th position. Bailey, Vincent, Winfield, then Wright, Reason, Nicolau, and the 195 is still in 11th place. That is Paul Taylor. We're on board with Lee Deegan, 2017 champion, desperate to get it back in 2019 and certainly going the right way about it. After 5 races in the championship, he's on 111 points, all the ones, and broken into triple figures for the point score. And that's definitely going to keep him honest in front of the likes of his main championship rival, Dan Reason. So Morgan Bailey still pushing on. We go back on board with him, chasing after the 51 of Dave Buki. There's Reason, swarming around all over the back of Winfield, trying to come off the turn again at Peel. And he's gone on the inside. Momentum as the Tegawa car drops down the hill. And it's not going to be easy through Siemens, down the back straight. Seagull gets out of the way. And down the Tom Price straight they go. Now this is going to be very, very tough stuff for Winfield as he tries to hang on in front of Reason. Now, they've both managed to lose out to Phil Wright. So this is for 9th position. Winfield hanging on in front of Reason, he's not made ground, has he? He's lost the place. Meanwhile, Alistair Camp still in front of Ballantyne, Hobson and Deegan. Deegan is now starting to swarm all over the back. We're on board with Winfield and round the outside. Reason breaks later. Can he hold it though? No, he's overshot. He's got to get heavier on the brakes to hold it through the final turn of the bus stop. Over the start-finish line and back into target as Deegan sets off after Hobson for the assault for 3rd position. 3rd in the track, 3rd in the point standings as well. Can he hold on in front of Deegan? Here we go with Winfield again. Oh, there's not a lot of room, but Reason made some. Thanks very much, mate. That'll put me back into B9. So Dan Reason is essentially now back where he started from. As we watch back to the front of the field. Camp, Ballantyne, Hobson, Deegan. Deegan's got a good run on Hobson as he charges through the crest. And now this is where you start to hit the brakes. Get that little bit of a curb. Oh, goodness me, Deegan's pushing hard. The back end slides out. He manages to get it stopped. And to be fair, his EP3 was looking a bit more rallycross than touring car as he slid out sideways there. Hobson using a little bit of curb, perhaps a little bit too much, as he got a wide line through Rocket Out, up through Peel, and Deegan is definitely putting him under pressure. They go down the drop, up towards Siemens, in through the left-hander. Braking again and back on the power. You get there at about the midpoint of the apex. Back on the throttle. Deegan's going to go left, because that's where Hobson is sending him. Now the question is, can he get there before the braking zone? Because then he can just cut across and hold the line. He's not going to. He's going to overshoot, in fact. A rare mistake from Deegan. But to be fair to him, he's already done most of the hard work. Top 5 will do in terms of his championship consistency. But he would love to get past Hobson, being 3rd in the championship. He's already dealt with the man 2nd in the championship. He'd love to get past Hobson as well, as Alistair Camp continues to hold the lead of the race in front of Jason Ballantyne. No Mike this weekend. He is still looking after the damage from Alton Park, we gather. Through target. Oh, lots of curb from Deegan as he switches to the left side, draws alongside Hobson. But Hobson needs to stay calm through the banking. He does so. He nearly gets to the back of Ballantyne. But faster out for Deegan means he's now going to challenge Hobson. Meanwhile, Morgan Bailey in P6 is hanging on in front of Vincent. Then it is Wright, Reason, Winfield, Nicolau, Taylor, Lewis and Andy Hart in front of the 20 of Darlington. And then it is Chris Mullen in front of the 211 of Mike Winkworth. So can Vincent squeeze on the inside line of Bailey? Well, Bailey's protecting the inside for the next corner, of course. Rocket In is the left-hander. So he holds it, but is the door going to remain open for Phil Wright? No, Vincent protects it nicely. Now he's going to squeeze for the inside of Rocket Out. Not enough momentum, but the move was there. He just couldn't quite get the car travelling through the apex with enough momentum to hold the inside line. But the idea is definitely good. He just needs to keep it going. And the Havercroft construction car in front is going to be very tricky to pass, with a very defensive Morgan Bailey hanging on to it. They come off the hairpin, up the back straight, along Tom Price, and into the braking zone. You could see just in front, actually, that Deegan was getting very racy with Hobson. Here goes Vincent, tries again on Bailey. No chance. David Buki a little way up the road now in 5th position, only by a few more car lengths than the previous lap, but as these guys continue to squabble, it's enough to be comfortable as Ballantyne closes up on Camp, Hobson closes up on Ballantyne, and Deegan is swarming around all over the back of Hobson. Bailey again protects the inside from Vincent, and Phil Wright sees a chance. He's nudged him. Well, that was so sporting from Wright. He backed off the challenge and let Vincent go. That was exactly what a racing driver, a full gentleman racing driver, should have done in that situation. He realised he tapped him, the back end got out, and he's let him go. Great sportsmanship in this paddock. Up the inside, that's Reason. He makes the move on Wright. See, what that's even done is it's even cost Wright a position, but this is about the sportsmanship. This is about the racecraft. This is about the fun and the thrill of motorsport. Some things are not worth pushing out your mate. Back along the straight. Love listening to these cars on full throttle. Wright is going to protect the inside line again. On the brakes, just trying to get the car nicely straightened out for the apex. And Winfield again darts to the left side of Phil Wright. He's got to be careful though, because he's got Nicolau trying to get through on the inside of him as well. Good to see Nicolau still pushing hard. Sam Nicolau, 12th in the first race, still on the outskirts of the top 10, but with a great chance here in front of Paul Taylor. So they go down the drop out of Peel up towards Siemens. Winfield's going to commit. Suddenly realised that that wasn't going to work, and he was either going to end up in the door of Wright, or it was going to get quite messy anyway. So he decides to really slam on the anchor. As the 26 Bailey again just chops across Vincent in the apex. This is a lovely bit of driving from both of these men. Bailey to commit to the defensive line as Deegan gets on the outside of Hobson. That's the furthest alongside him he's been all race, but still Hobson won't let him go. Now he's going to get the switch back. Surely this is Deegan's best chance yet of 3rd position. Into target. Surely he's going to hold it through across the curb. Lovely job from Deegan. Set him up for the move there. Out of the final. Oh, hang on. Hobson's come back at him on the exit. In through the banking. Well, I think Deegan thought that was nicely done. Hobson had other ideas. No, I'm going to put up a fight. As again, big lock-up from Winfield. He really likes to stab on the brake pedal into those big stops. But so far, so good for Winfield, chasing after Phil Wright. And those two looking likely to run around in the top 10. If this was race 1, they'd be quite happy to be sat there, because for the next race, they would be on the front row. But sadly, this is not a 3-race weekend. It's just a 2. So Winfield battling away once again with Phil Wright. Up the crest, braking zone for Rocket in. Bailey and Vincent door to door. Vincent was ahead, now he's not. Bailey squeezes back through. Watch out, here comes Reason. Reason with the FN2 car, of course, trying to squeeze his way through on the inside in the Togewa car. As he got the space, not quite there. He goes through Peel and starts the descent down the hill once again up towards Siemens. So let's see if he's going to get the switch back. Nicely held by David Vincent, the Area Motorsport, supported by Iconic Signs. And down the Tom Price straight they go once again. In the wake of Morgan Bailey, here goes Reason. Thinks better of it. Decides to outfox David Vincent, hoping to outsmart him in the braking zone. He was hoping for a mistake there from Vincent. He just popped his nose out to the right side and thought he could outfox him, perhaps catch him out in the braking zone. He now goes left. Left from our point of view, right from his, of course. He's going to go right round the outside. Lovely move from Reason. That is so hard to pull off at the bus stop, but he's managed to make it stick. He just got much more confidence on the braking zone, carried the momentum through, and that's up a position. That's one of the moves of the season from Reason up into 6th place on David Vincent. Now, Deegan through into 3rd on Hobson. He's caught up to the back of Jason Ballantyne, so it looks as though he's going to take 2 bits of silverware home. Meanwhile, Reason, now that he's finally dealt with Vincent, he's going to set off after Morgan Bailey in 5th position. But what has happened to David Buki's time, his transponder? It seems to be shorting on him because he's still there in 5th position. You can see that for yourself, but his transponder doesn't appear to be working, so that needs to be added manually. Ballantyne in there in front of Deegan. They battle for 2nd place in front of Hobson. 5th place is Buki. Then it's Bailey, Reason, Vincent, Wright, Winfield, who's in 10th position now in front of Nicolau, Taylor, Lewis and Andy Hart. Out of Peel, down the drop, into Siemens once again. Alistair Camp driving such a smooth, rhythmic race here out in the front. He's just allowing the drivers behind them to squabble away. And I think ultimately the best Lee Deegan is going to get from this race is potentially 2nd if he can get past Jason Ballantyne. We go through the hairpin. There's 3 minutes and 7 on the clock, so by my math that's 2 laps. I don't think he's going to gain 9/10 of a second on Alistair Camp, even if he does get through at the final turn, and even that is a little bit questionable for the moment. End of lap 7. As they go down the straight, this is on board again with Winfield. He's going to go deep into the braking zone round the outside of Phil Wright. Get the thing stopped. Goodness me, Bruce. That was very, very tight on the brakes. As Deegan again gives a lot of pressure to Jason Ballantyne. There was a second adrift of Alistair Camp. Ballantyne overshoots at the braking zone a tiny bit, but manages to collect it up. That was well held by Ballantyne. He realised that the car was drifting slightly wide. He rolled off the brakes, got back on the power as soon as he could, and that has prevented him losing 2nd place for the next couple of corners. But down along the coast, Deegan is very, very much in the rearview mirror now. Along they come. And is there going to be a move? No, Ballantyne's holding it, and a big lock up from Hobson behind, almost into the back of Deegan. And he's going to cut across on the grass, nearly getting him very, very wide out of the turn now. And he just about hangs on, but he's getting very frustrated behind Deegan. And I have a feeling that somewhere in the midst, if Dan Reason knew what was going on, he'd be on the Hobson bandwagon right now. Go on, Dan, get in there, son. As Lee Deegan overshoots a little bit in the braking spot himself. He's obviously feeling the pressure. He feels, well, I've got to get past Ballantyne, otherwise I'm going to lose out to Hobson and I'm not going to get a 2nd podium. So he's got to get on with this now. But as a result of these two battling, they are still well within touch of Alistair Camp, but by my mathematics, they're not going to have enough time to do anything about him. So Alistair Camp looks set for a very impressive victory here at T. Croix. Into the final turn, and it will be just 1 lap to go here at Anglesey Circuit. But Deegan is going to push for 2nd. 3rd position is not good enough for him as they go into the final tour. Target, plenty of curb on the inside apex. That's given him momentum. Ballantyne's going to send him left. He's got to commit to it, but Ballantyne's going to squeeze him. Lovely defence from Jason Ballantyne. Now Deegan's going to have to cut out. Ballantyne cuts across to the inside line. Deegan switches to the left. That's where Ballantyne puts him, and he holds him up through Church. This is amazing defence from Ballantyne, but absolute aggression from Deegan. But as a result, they're edging each other closer to Alistair Camp. It's almost a karting dynamic from these two catching up to the race leader, Alistair Camp. Hobson is going to have to go right to try and avoid the back bumper of Deegan's car. But again, Lee Deegan is getting so frustrated, sat behind the Ballantyne's garage car. But look how they've just dissipated the gap. Alistair Camp is in the lead, but there's nothing doing now. This is going to be a three-way, possibly a four-way fight for the victory. Camp had a second on these guys a couple of sectors ago. Now they are right together. Camp locks up in the lead. Ballantyne could steal the win, or Deegan could get them both. Down the Tom Price straight, back on the power. There's every opportunity now for Alistair Camp to suddenly lose concentration. He's only got 2 hairpins to go. In through the right. Ballantyne still holding on to it. Deegan's only got 1 more chance to grab second. Hobson could bag a podium if things go pear-shaped, but Alistair Camp has just about done enough, I'm sure, unless he ends up overshooting in the final hairpin. But Alistair Camp rarely drops the ball. Deegan's going to get in tight behind Ballantyne, but he's not going to get past him. Alistair Camp takes the flag. Deegan, though, is delighted with 3rd position. That will do nicely in terms of his championship assault in behind Jason Ballantyne. A very good 2nd place. Hobson is 4th. David Buki in a brilliant 5th position in front of Morgan Bailey, who just about hangs on in there in front of Dan Reason in 7th. Vincent is 8th. Phil Wright is 9th, and rounding out the top 10, it's Bruce Winfield in front of Taylor, Nicolau, Lewis, Mullen and Darlington. Mike Windworth recovers to 16th place in front of Higginson, Hart, Handley and the 140 of Damien Harris. But Deegan's consistency up in the top 5, a win in race 1, a 3rd in race 2, that definitely gives him solid ground to work with. But that victory for Alistair Camp must feel better than tying the knot. Sorry, Mrs. Camp.
Lee, incredible driving by you. Started 10th and came 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, I said to the pit crew that if I can get back to 5th, I'd be over the moon around here, because there's not that, although there's a lot of corners, there's not that many places to overtake around here. It's a very hard track. There's like 1 or maybe 1.5 lines around here, if you're lucky. But just concentrated on the start, got a really good start, and sort of had a half of a plan in my head where I'd make the moves, and it worked. So mega result, a 1st and a 3rd to get 2 podiums in 1 weekend in Civic Cup. I mean, that's what we aim for, and got it, so I'm going home a happy man today.
Are we expecting more results like this in the future, hopefully?
Hopefully, yeah. I've had a few good runs now. I had 1 bad race at Alton Park, but apart from that, we've been on the podium in every one. So I just need to thank Regency Autos and FW Motorsport and all the lads that are helping me. So if they can keep doing the job they're doing, I'll do my job, and hopefully we can keep pushing on.
Brilliant. So just looking more at the longevity of the championship, does this mean you'll still be going out of this weekend as the lead?
Yeah, should be, yeah. I've made a bit of a points gap from the last round to this round, so it's all happy, and we'll be having a few beers tonight.
Well, fantastic news, and we'll let you go and enjoy this, and obviously still leading the championship.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Jason, big congratulations, 2nd place in the last race of today. Quickly talk to me about that, because there was a lot of attacking and defending.
Yeah, it was a fairly exciting race, to be honest. Got a good start, and then Alistair decided to cut us off. But he's obviously going to do that, a bit cheeky, but never mind. Still got away in 2nd place. He led. 2nd place for most of the race, and about a 3rd of the way in had Hobson breathing down my neck, which made it quite challenging. So held him off for a while, and Lee got past Danny, which made it even harder for me because I had both of them fighting at me. Managed to hold him off though, just made the car really wide, and still trying to attack Alistair and defend. It was pretty exciting, really. Yeah, good race. Really good race.
So are we looking for a repeat in the next round?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. I've been looking for this for a while now. What are we, 4 meetings in now, so yeah, it's been a while coming, but I'm quite happy with the 2nd place.
Brilliant. Well, congratulations, and we'll let you go and enjoy this.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Alistair, congratulations on that. You started 1st, still ended 1st. It's got to be a good result for you.
Yeah, definitely. Real good. Well happy with it. A few changes from race 1, and like I say, race 2, hell of a lot better. So massive credit to the team on that team area for that. So really happy with it.
Good. Well, it looked like you managed to get away and leave all the action behind you and just focus on going forward.
Yeah, it was a lot of action behind me. I could see that in the mirror, and yeah, ducking and diving between each other. But no, just fully wanted that win today to give me a bit of confidence back and go for the next round.
20 points is now the lead for Lee Deegan over Dan Reason, with Dan Hobson just another 4 adrift, but Alistair Camp's win takes him to within striking distance of the top 3 on 104. Bruce Winfield's consistency places him in P5, with plenty still to go in the 2019 season. The Disklok Civic Cup now moves on to Croft in North Yorkshire. We'll see you soon.